Hello, I am Savannah. I am one half of your favorite music podcast, Rate the Record. And this is the best of the new music review for 2022. I've picked my top 5 songs that I've reviewed this year, a couple honorable mentions, and that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. First off, at number 5, we have The Wonder Years with Oldest Daughter. Now, I'm not really going to say anything different than I did in the reviews that these songs belong to, because that's why they're on this list. I found that this song in particular, I've been listening to it on and off ever since. Every time it comes on, it kind of fills me with a nostalgia for a time, maybe 20 years ago, when I was in my early teens listening to this pop punk sort of emo in my feels music. And to be fairly honest, sometimes you don't really grow out of it, even though you grow out of the lyrics and the feeling. The desire to listen to that music is kind of always there, and that's why it made number 5. Number 4, This Is Why by Paramore. Again, I never really listened to Paramore as a kid. Kind of goes along with The Wonder Years with the whole emo sort of emotional pop punk stuff. But I find that this track and a lot of their newer stuff is definitely a departure from their first couple of albums and that sort of teenage angst feeling. I did mention in the review that this song kind of gives me feelings of Hayley Williams' solo efforts. The song Cinnamon kind of comes to mind. Not really sure if that's the right one, but it's the one I remember anyways. And I really like this one. I like the upbeat chorus. I like her sort of vocal swings. And it is something that I could listen to over and over. And I do. I have. And I love it. And on the podium in number 3, we have Tegan and Sara with Yellow. Now I'm going to say this for the 3rd time in this video. I never really listened to Tegan and Sara before, well aware of them as a fellow Canadian. Maybe some songs on the radio, not knowing it was them. I don't know, I'm a little ignorant, not willfully, but it's a little disappointing sometimes. This song in particular, very catchy. If it wasn't, I probably wouldn't like it. My little monkey brain just latches onto something that I can sing to, and it is over. I will listen to it forever. So I have been listening to this forever. It is on the playlist like I said it was going to be. I listen to this while I work. I listen to this while I clean the house. I listen to this while I scroll the internet mindlessly on my cell phone. So I don't know what else I can ask for. Unfortunately, it didn't make it to silver or gold, but bronze still gets a medal, and you know what? Number 3 is a good place to be. If you had literally told me a couple years ago that I was going to sing the praises of a One Direction band member, I would probably think you were unwell and that you had absolutely no idea what my musical preferences were. Now, in second place on the top 5 best of 2022 new music review, Harry Styles. Why the hell does he make such good music as a solo artist? I don't know if it's the nostalgic sort of sound, if it's just his voice, if it is the butterflies and the warm feeling that my heart gets when I listen to it. I have absolutely no idea, but you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything. I really like this song. I like a lot of other songs that he has released, but this one I find upbeat, boppy. It is just encouraging to move around to it, and it is very nice to go for a walk and sort of imagine that you are the main character in your own life. And you know what? You really should be. So, Harry Styles, number 2. Now, time for some honorable mentions. I actually wasn't going to do any. It was just going to be a top 5, cut and dry, that's it, no BS. But as I'm listening to the playlist, I was thinking, wow, I can't believe I actually reviewed these songs because they're by artists that I already like. So coming in for an honorable mention, we have Wilco with Tired of Taking It Out on You. Now, Wilco is definitely a band that I have and do enjoy. I really like their first album. Banger, really good. But this is off of their new album, Cruel Country. And I really like how they sort of stay true to their sound. It's not very poppy, but it has the emotion that you want and you would need for a subject matter such as this. The song title really says it all. You feel bad for the way that you're acting to somebody that you love. And I know that everybody has been in a position like that. I definitely know I have, and I've been on the receiving end of it. So it definitely speaks to me. I can relate to the lyrics. And unfortunately, it didn't make the list, but it is something and a band that I'm going to listen to for a really, really long time. Not an existing fan of Korn. I have seen them live with Alice in Chains, and Korn is loud as hell, but this song isn't. I didn't feel the anger, the resentment, the stress that I have heard in prior Korn songs. And you know what? I really, really appreciate that. I feel like personally, I am at the stage in my life where I need to sort of let things go, and listening to a song that feels like someone who has some pent-up resentment has resigned to the fact that, you know what, I'm just going to have to deal with this stuff. I really like that. I really like the way it sounds. And just listening to the way the song starts, I don't really think that it is Korn. It took me 3 listens last time for me to even remember who it was. So I'd like to take that as a good sign, a good turning point for the band. I'd really like to hear what they have coming up. And unfortunately, like Wilco, didn't make it to the top 5. But you know what? It might next year. Let's just see what else they release. Now, we are at number 1, and le pièce de résistance of the list, Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Holy shit. Every single time this song comes up, I love it. I love it. I never remember who it is because it sounds like something that I've listened to for decades already. I liked the song when I first heard it. I love this song now. Unfortunately, I haven't ventured to hear anything else of theirs, but my God, if it sounds like this, I will take it. Unfortunately, it is a little difficult to tell people what it is that I am listening to without them looking at me with some sort of skewed eye going, the hell are you talking about? But you know what? I think that's all part of the charm. This song is upbeat, it's boppy, I love the way it sounds. It sounds nostalgic and old, yet before its time, sort of futuristic. I don't even know. I feel like I'm trying to cram it into a box it really does not deserve to be crammed into. My number 1, Bubblegum Infinity, Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. I love it. I hope you love it. And that was it. 2022 is now over. You survived. I survived. I am really looking forward to next year, seeing what artists and bands have to offer and release in this optimistic, fingers crossed, new year. Thank you very much for joining me and Kris on this wild adventure that we call the Rate the Record podcast. Thank you for watching our new music reviews and everything else that you do to contribute to the musical community that we are trying to build with things like this. I hope you discovered some new music through us. My name is Savannah. Farewell.